Go Pizza presents SCP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
So what I'm saying is, if Leo Komarov joins Vegas and scores a goal, it'll be leovegas.net. leovegas.net, where you can also sign up for a Matt Sundin VIP hockey experience.
I mean, the experience sounds great. I just had to leave you behind after the Leo Komarov.
Well, okay, so we got Ty Domi, Thomas Kaberle, Curtis Joseph. They're all going to be there. And you're going to, think about playing hockey on a line with Matt Sundin.
That is amazing. What I'm more interested to see is if Cujo goes less than 100%. Because I saw him at an alumni game, Leafs-Habs alumni game in Oshawa. Nothing was getting past him.
Really?
He was out of position and still making the save every time, just like I remembered him. It's so great when you see a guy just the way you left him.
Did he still have the Cujo helmet? Like the mask?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hey, what, do you think he would wear something else?
I hope not, because that was one of the best masks in the history of the game.
Cujo, we're all set to go. We don't have your mask, though. I'm not playing.
So you'd be invited to a welcome reception, a hockey VIP tour hosted by Glenn Healy and Matt's. Tickets to a private event at Wayne Gretzky Estates, private meet and greet with Matt Sundin alongside other LeoVegas.net winners, private event at Wayne Gretzky's restaurant, closing lunch with alumni players, $1,500 flight voucher to Toronto for you and your guest. That is if you need it. Otherwise, you just get the voucher. $500 Visa card, hotel accommodations at the Delta, transportation to and from the hotel, and a commemorative signed photo with Matt Sundin. Yeah.
You need to make a promise to this show. If you score a goal and Matt Sundin got the assist, you got to throw your stick into the stands.
Like at Daniel Alfredson?
Yeah, you just got to go, Hua! Well, Daniel Alfredson did it because Matt's did it.
Right.
So you just got to go, ha! Throw it in the stands. Huck it. Bat flip.
And they actually said, not a hockey player yourself, no problem. You could trade spots with your guest, and they could play for you while you take it all in.
There you go.
Now, if you don't play hockey and you win this, what are the chances you're actually trading that out?
Yeah, take it from me, guy who played hockey game despite not being able to play hockey, you should play the hockey. You should always play the hockey.
Play the hockey.
It's fun to play the hockey.
Okay. Jesse, any thoughts?
Unless you have a back injury.
One of the lights isn't set up, so I'm going to do that.
Okay, so Jesse's...
Oh, yeah, I
Jesse's
thought something was off. I'm like, something is... Okay, good. I'm glad it's not just me. I was like, what the... There's something...
This is all right.
Had to go high
Oh,
pitch.
it's the one behind me.
Yeah. Well, you just shine the brightest.
Thank you, Steve. So. It's the teeth.
Yes.
Can we just talk about... Forget how boring... That's right, I said it. Boring.
Wow.
The Eastern and Western Conference Finals have been.
Wow.
They really are. You know what? It is really good hockey. I think the problem is that we're lacking in terms of storyline. Are we lacking? We're lacking storylines here.
I don't know about that.
Because with Washington, to me, it's a big story if they're up 3-0. Yeah, but 2-1, you're like, okay, all right.
But that makes it better. It makes it a better playoff series.
Sure, but storylines. We don't narrate the hockey games. We talk about the stuff out after the hockey games.
Right. So what do we get out of that? We got a hit.
Tom Wilson,
And
which we will get to for sure.
Is Stamkos okay? I think he came back in the game.
I think he's fine, yeah.
Okay, so that's out.
Tell me something else we should talk about other than Tom Wilson being a big baby.
An expansion franchise that didn't exist a year ago is in the conference finals.
Green, though, man. That's been in. That's like a week and a half of that. How much more can we say?
A week and a half.
It doesn't die. They're still doing it. How did that just disappear for you,
Dude? It was weird when they were 3-0.
Okay, so what
start the season?
What specifically do we want to talk about with that?
That's the point. I
okay,
get
so that's
both
great.
of your point. Okay,
once that sentence is said, what else?
But it's unforgivable to say there's no story, but at the same time, he's right. I don't know how many other ways I can say I can't believe this is happening.
Wow, Vegas is here. This is crazy.
Every time Connor Hellebuck gets a win, how many more millions of dollars is he making this offseason? That's fascinating.
I know, that's
fascinating.
But that doesn't have anything to do with the series, though.
It's only...
Well, it sort of does.
It very much does.
But it's only of concern to the Jets. Really?
But there's two teams. Those are the two teams we got to be concerned about. Yeah. Everything involving these two teams.
Could Connor Hellebuck do something to lose any money in these playoffs?
Yeah, if Connor Hellebuck shits the bed in this series, how many more millions of dollars did he just lose?
But we just...
He'd go Connor Hellebunk. Am I right?
Hella broke.
Oh, don't think so. He's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah. No, he's going to be fine.
So who makes more money this offseason? Connor Hellebuck or Carter Hutton? For goalie.
Hellebuck, easily.
Like in terms of a raise, though?
Yeah. Sorry, I guess that's what I should have said it.
Nah, it's going to be Hellebuck still. It's going to be Hellebuck still.
I think someone's going to massively overpay for Carter Hutton. And I think that's awesome for him. They might not even overpay, really. He might turn out to be great.
He's just going to get a great payday. He's probably... I don't know if he would get Scott Darling money because I feel like he hasn't been very good for as long as Darling was. But he'll still... I bet he's going to make over $3 million.
Okay, that is something I really want to talk about. I know we've talked about that before. What sample size are we using on Scott Darling? Before he played for the Carolina Hurricanes, did he ever play more than 50 games?
No, but he was
So
a
what kind of
good
sample
backup.
size is that?
I don't know. You're right. And what's funny is we've talked about Scott Darling many times on the show. But we're like, no, Vegas is boring. Can't talk about that.
Oh, well, I mean, like, there's a cool article on Sportsnet.ca about Jonathan Marchessault and his rocky beginning.
I guess, okay, I watch the hockey, and it's great. And I watch the highlights, and they're great. And I read the articles,
Like, it is
and they're
great hockey. No question.
I don't understand why I'm not clicking with the third round. I feel like I'll be really into it once it's the finals, but for some reason, it's not you, it's me. It's 100% my fault
Is it that the first and second rounds were so crazy that the third round, even though it's great hockey, seems a bit...
You're also...
Could be that.
We've also run into the worst case scenario for the NHL, where you have the least exciting teams in the league as the Final Four. Imagine if this was Boston. You can find a million storylines. Imagine if this was Pittsburgh going for number 3.
Yeah.
A million. If this is Toronto, we're not stopping talking about this. But you have
Or Montreal.
Tampa. That's a market we rarely talk about unless they're doing something amazing, which they are right now. The Caps, they have Ovi. We talk about Ovi, but where do we talk about the Caps as a whole? We got Vegas, who doesn't exist a year ago.
Yeah.
And then we got Winnipeg, who's the afterthought when we look at the Canadian teams.
See, Winnipeg, though, like, I'm a Canadian and I work for Rogers. It's great news. It's amazing news that Winnipeg is in the Final Four. For me, personally. I don't know. Is it fatigue from just the season sort of thing? Like, now it's like, all right, I want to see who wins the cup sort of thing. You know what I mean? And the third round is in the way of that.
Maybe that's
I know
it.
that's ridiculous, but I
The
think...
NHL should cut around.
Well, part of it might have had to do with, and the Leafs are out and I'm sad.
I don't think so, because here's the thing. The second round gave us a bunch of storylines. I mean, Brad Marchand alone could have filled a show. And I think I miss Brad Marchand. Do I miss? Is that what it is? Because like Tom Wilson seems so boring compared to Brad
interesting.
Marchand.
All right, what characters are there?
Like Crosby's out.
They've tried to push Bufflin versus Reeves, but though they're just kind of two nice competitors.
And Reeves played like 3 minutes against him. Like it's
It's not a thing. Reeves had a funny interview with Scott Oak. Fleury had a quick little back and forth with the crowd in Winnipeg. There's Tom Wilson, who is very obvious. And then on the Lightning, I got nothing. I don't know. What is it?
Well, how much
Something crazy is going to happen during
Tom
the show.
Wilson's comments today fascinating because
Of course.
I think he's a huge baby.
But like,
Should we
what
get
else?
into that?
Like, we need several things.
yeah,
like,
but
of course
we
talk
just
about
went
that.
through so many things, and you're like, give me more.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
We don't have headline grabbing things, but there's plenty to talk about.
Maybe I'm just personally tired.
Yeah, I
Here,
think
you know what? Let me drink this.
I think when you said you're fatigued from the Leafs, I think there's a thing like personally going on there, and I think that's very true because the Leafs were over, and you were like, I can breathe, but I'm also sad, and I'm going to take a little step back because my team is out.
Yeah.
And now you're like trying to get back into it, but there's nothing really headline grabbing, and you're like, oh, I'm watching this hockey, but it's not the Leafs. I can watch this hockey when it's the Stanley Cup Finals, but I'm in that in between, so I'm kind of
Life is just almost drowning in several different pools. Like, I almost drowned in the book pool. But I got out and I saved myself at the last minute, and then I jumped into the playoff pool, and then the Leafs got eliminated, and I got out before I drowned, and I jumped into the life pool where I left everything behind for like 2 months, and now I've come out of that.
Patched your foundation.
And patched the foundation, hurt myself in the process. And I don't know. Now I don't know. I think I need a breather on the beach.
If you've not seen the Stralman hit, I recommend you look it up before we play it. But I'm assuming that most people who listen to this show have.
Or
so let's cut
if
right
you haven't seen it, we're about to talk about a hit. If you're confused, look it up.
Yeah.
That's all.
So I'm going to start with Tom Wilson's comments about the hit. Hang on. Just loading here.
Are we going to get you want to build a stunning website? I have with Wix.
We might.
We all get the same 6 commercials.
I mean, you guys tell me. I think if it's...
Let me hear this.
I don't really know anymore. I don't know, but I mean, if anyone wants to feel the goose egg on the side of my head,
well,
I mean,
nevertheless,
is it coming through on the Vox Pro? We don't know what he said.
So yeah, let me just rewind here. We'll do a quick edit. All right, nobody say anything.
Do you have a problem with the Stralman hit?
I mean, you guys tell me. I think if it's... I don't really know anymore. I don't know, but I mean, if anyone wants to feel the goose egg on the side of my head, I mean, he leaves his feet. I'm in a pretty vulnerable spot, and he drives my head through the glass. I'm not one to lay on the ice, but it took me a little bit to collect myself. I got back out there, but everything I've heard all year, he sees numbers for a good amount of time, and he elevates through the back of my shoulder and head. So,
all right, what do you think?
Well, first of all, it was very interesting having not heard it, but it's watching that hit. It's interesting, and this has nothing to do with Tom Wilson being a dirty player, okay? It has everything to do with he kind of makes his money being a meat and potatoes kind of sandpaper guy. He goes into the corner, does a little shoulder check, sees his attacker coming. Stralman comes in. Granted, he does see numbers the whole time, but he does know that
you have to hit. You have to hit in that position.
He knows the guy is coming. That, to me, I'm surprised it wasn't the other way around.
Now,
just because, and the argument in the hitter, or I guess Tom Wilson's case, would be, well, you saw him coming. You saw him coming, and what's he supposed to do? Not hit? Now, it's weird because it's reverse. When Tom Wilson says if it was him, he'd have been suspended, I don't think he said a single word that's wrong.
I don't
think he said a single word that's not the truth.
But I think there's a reason for that, but we'll get to that in a second. First off, Stralman did leave his feet.
Yep.
100%.
And it was from behind.
And Wilson was bent over.
Yep.
Which is also interesting. He was sort of bent over, getting the puck or whatever. Now, I've said in the past, I believe hits to the head should be an automatic suspension.
Well,
and is Tom Wilson wrong in what he said? If it were him, he would be
suspended.
Yeah, you know why? Because you're Tom Wilson. Because there's context to the situation.
I don't think this is the first time Stralman's been caught up in something. Jesse, I don't know. I'm not giving you much to work with. Stralman, questionable hit. I don't even know what you would look up, but I seem to remember something in recent memory with him. But he certainly doesn't have the, lengthy track record of Marchand or Wilson or
like you're a guy.
Going back, Matt Cook.
I still stand behind my statement. Hits to the head, automatic suspension should be 100%.
Yeah.
However, Tom Wilson needs to get a grip. Tom Wilson needs to. Are you kidding me, man? Are you serious? You're sitting there. Now, I know why he said what he said. Because he's trying to rally not only the fans, but his team. And I get that. But he knows exactly what he's doing, which is, I'm the victim. I'm Tom Wilson, the victim. Tom, come on. Get over it, man. Are you serious? Get
over it? He's got a goose egg on his head, he said. He said, are you accusing him of not even having a goose egg?
Where's the goose egg?
Where's the goose egg?
You can't deny an injury.
Where's the goose egg? Where is it?
Do you want Tom Wilson to send you a picture of his head?
Tom.
Is Isabel
send me a picture.
Kashinian supposed to just run her fingers through his hair and be like, it's there. It's there, everyone. I felt it.
On February 25th, 2016, Stralman laid out Brian Little in a pretty dirty hit.
Let me see. Mm-hmm. Did he get suspended?
It was right there.
Bang. Oh, he sort of got him with the knee.
It was a knee on knee. Yeah. So there you go. That was the last question.
See, now
he also laid out Nikolai Ehlers before. as well in the same shift.
I say what I say, saying that if Tom Wilson were a Leaf, I would probably love him.
I mean, totally.
For sure. But, dude, the reason you would be suspended is because you've done this shit before. We know what you're about. And you run around out there.
Wow.
Like, oh, come on. Are we kidding?
Wait, I'm confused.
We haven't built a little profile about what Tom Wilson is as a player? Are we just going to deny that?
Does he have a beef with the Hit? Does he have a legitimate beef with the Hit?
Sure, he can have a beef with the Hit all he wants.
But
don't complain about your reputation when you created it.
I see. Wow. You know, Adam, okay, so I've been going down a rabbit hole on a certain YouTube channel. Okay, I like YouTube channels that are out there. I don't really like video blogs very much. Nah, she's got some good videos. She's got some cool videos. Philip DeFranco, I can't watch him talk for 20 minutes. Like, dude, you think my videos are long? His are getting longer and longer every day. I've been watching, and some of you may be familiar, Big Herc with Prison Talk. He went to jail. No, he went to prison for 8 years.
Oh.
And now he has a YouTube channel. It's like 250,000 subscribers
That's
or
pretty
something
cool.
like that. He's got all kinds of well, and people just ask him questions about prison. Now, if you're under 18 or something and listening to this, parental discretion is advised.
He's probably something that they should show like at-risk offenders. Like young
my
offenders.
God. I didn't even want to speed after watching his video. I'm like, nope, stop. Yeah, hardcore at every stop sign, no California rule. But one thing he talks about is, he did the crime, so he did his time. Tom Wilson did the crime. He did his time. 3 games. Shouldn't there be a little bit of forgiveness?
Tom does this all the time.
Dude,
last round we were talking about him.
He sat in timeout. And then when he came back, he was playing hockey cleanly.
That doesn't mean that he
and got
doesn't have a
hits.
reputation, Steve.
Of course he's got a reputation.
So when you have a reputation, don't complain about your reputation that you created.
I don't think he's complaining about his reputation. Or, okay, he's maybe complaining
exactly
about a
what
couple
he's
things.
doing.
He's complaining about his reputation, but he is 130 exactly % correct when he says if he laid that hit, he'd be suspended. Yes, Jesse.
What's your beef with this clip? Because he didn't say anything wrong.
Oh, I think it's just you
can't get indignant.
If I did it, then I would be suspended. It's a shot
But
at
he's
player
right.
safety. Yeah, but he's complaining. He wouldn't have brought it up if he's not sour about it. That's a complaint.
Tom Wilson is
It's a
grumpy.
passive-aggressive complaint.
That Tom Wilson is being treated like Tom Wilson because Tom Wilson acted like Tom Wilson.
So what do you want him to say?
I want him to just suck it up and be like, dude, it was a dirty hit. Leave it at that. And it was a dirty hit. I don't disagree. But to go out there and be like, oh, well, man, I would have been suspended, but he won't be. I'm Tom Wilson and hard done by. Give me a break, man.
No,
But
give
in
me a
this situation, he was, though.
You should-
I think just because of who he is doesn't mean anything he's saying is incorrect. And like we should give him the kudos for saying the truth. And that if it was him, or if Tom Wilson in that situation is Alexander Ovechkin, if he's Connor McDavid
But
and
he's not.
Stralman
He's
hits
Tom
him
Wilson.
like that, there's a suspension. And he's telling the truth when he says those things.
I think, but the thing is here, should the league suspend Anton Stralman? Sure.
Did he
Probably
even
Have a
get
look
a
at
hearing?
it.
No.
Wow,
Yeah.
he didn't even get a hearing.
No.
No fine, no nothing.
Which, again, I disagree with. I think he absolutely should have.
Who was the player? There was a player about a week ago who got like a $2,500 fine or something like that. Like, who cares?
If you're making league minimum, is that even 1% of your salary?
no.
I think that's the CBA, though. I think it's in there that you can only find the maximum $2,500.
That's a
No,
pretty
totally.
sweet deal
Everyone
they've got.
always brings that up.
Yeah.
They're like, well, in the CBA, it says $5,000 is the maximum.
This is
well,
genius
maybe that's something
negotiating.
they should look at.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something they ought to look
During
at
the
time.
next lockout.
Yeah, well, they'll have plenty of time to mull it over. You thought a 3-game suspension was long, Tom.
If there's a hill to die on for the NHL versus the NHLPA, fines are not the hill.
No.
And you're never going to get the players to agree on higher fines. So, you know what I mean? Like, the idea is to get them to agree on an even more stringent salary cap because you're owners and you're greedy. But you're not going to get them to go, hey, $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 fines. No way. They'll never go for it.
All right. Now, let's take the words out of Tom Wilson's mouth and put them in Barry Trotz's. So Tom Wilson, they go the Pittsburgh Penguins approach. Tom Wilson's not allowed to talk to the media after the game because he's got to ice that goose.
And listen, if he was hurt again, I don't disparage that.
I'm not belittling Tom Wilson. I'm not belittling Zach Aston Reese. I'm just saying that is a little bit what they did. So let's say, okay, he's not allowed to talk to the media, and it's Barry Trotz that's got to go to the bat and talk about how, he's got to be evaluated, or we did evaluate him or whatever. I don't know if he's going to be there for game 4. And then if Barry Trotz says if it was Tom Wilson laying the hit that Anton Stralman did, he'd be suspended. Is it better?
It would still be a correct statement.
Yes.
And it would still be, but it's Tom Wilson, come on.
So it doesn't matter who says
Tom
it.
Wilson.
See, your problem is with the guy, and I don't know why you're hating.
What if Brett Connolly
If
says
Tom Wilson
But
was
he's
in
not
this
Brett
room,
Connolly. He's Tom Wilson.
I know.
if Tom Wilson wanted to come on this podcast, would you let him on this podcast?
Absolutely.
Would you be nice to him?
Yes.
Then I don't
But
understand.
I'd be like, Tom.
He's not Brad Marchand.
I don't know why you have a personal vendetta against Tom Wilson. Why do you hate his children?
Like, okay.
Wow.
If
Jesse brings up a good point. Why do you hate his pets? Go ahead.
if somebody that's never committed a crime on the ice, and then there's somebody or someone
Anton Stralman?
Okay.
Not him.
All right, sorry, let's
That's-
compare rap sheets then.
No, but saying he
We're
has
talking about a 2-floor building versus
no,
like,
but your
the
statement
CN
is
Tower.
factually incorrect.
Okay, I'm off by 1 then. He had one hit that he was called on the carpet for. Oh. Right?
At least.
Sure,
It might have been 2.
factually incorrect. Continue.
Wow. It's amazing to me that Anton Stralman in 2018 is gooning people. I remember him as
Too soft.
as the Leafs prospect. Dude, I went in
didn't
the
Berkey call
Marlies
him too
dressing
soft?
room, and he didn't have his shirt on when he did his interview, and I was just like, dude, I could take this guy.
Didn't they just give him up for nothing too?
It was a very bizarre trade. Jesse, can you look that trade up?
It's sad.
It is.
That one's sad.
It is very bad. I did a trade tree. I think I remember it, but it would be helpful to have that.
But the Leafs all had to make all those horrible decisions to get Austin Matthews, and for that I'm grateful.
Yes. Okay, there, down goes Brown.
Well, they did.
You wrote that this past week.
It's so bad.
You know what the first thing that pops up when you Google Anton Stralman
His
Leafs
suspension.
trade
Oh,
is?
is it suspension?
It's the Steve Dangle blog on sportsnet.ca.
Oh.
It says
I'm sure
Maple
that has
Leafs.
nothing to do with you being my friend and that being
Nope.
in your results.
Nope. Maple Leafs rabbit hole, the Anton Stralman trade.
So that was the first one. It was before I called them trade trees. So that's why it's called rabbit hole.
Look in your little whiteboard.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this? This is your article.
Oh boy. The whiteboard is not helpful. Okay, here we go. So let's take a trip down the rabbit hole. July 1st, 2009, the Leafs trade Pavel Kabina and Tim Stapleton to the Atlanta Thrashers in exchange for defender Garnet Exelby and forward Colin Stewart. So that's a cap dump. Tim Stapleton set the Marlies record for points in a season, so he was a good AHL
and he's
player.
killing it in the K, isn't he?
He's killing it over in Europe. And Pavel Kabina was, I think, one of the Muskoka 5. So he was in the cap dump. They had Garnet Exelby and Colin Stewart, I think, might have had a cup of coffee. July 27th, 2009. So this is later that month. The Leafs trade Anton Stralman, Colin Stewart, and a 2012 7th rounder to the Calgary Flames in exchange for Wayne Primo and a 2011 2nd rounder. And then something happened to that 2nd rounder. And
So
I'm
the
trying
Flames
to find
gave
out
up
what.
Anton Stralman too.
Oh, dude, and the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Wow.
And New York Rangers, but at least he was good as a Ranger.
he was good as a Ranger, yeah.
It's no, because he had some kind of crazy, it was like a heart infection or something that went undiagnosed.
And that's why he wasn't playing well.
Right. It's similar
Janssen?
to Andreas Janssen's story. A little bit similar to that. And then the 2011 2nd rounder, I think, ended up it ended up in Chicago. And that 2nd rounder was Brandon Saad.
Of course it was.
Because of course it was.
So here's okay. So
Does that make you sad?
The second,
It does,
The
a
second
little
rounder was that the Christopher Stieg trade?
Sorry, say that again.
Was the second rounder to Chicago the Chris Versteeg trade?
I don't remember. I don't have time to read the whole thing. You should Google Anton Stralman rabbit hole trade tree something on
Get Steve that
Dangle
one
blog.
more hit that
Yeah.
he's definitely seeking.
On an article from 2016, October 24th.
That's when your trade tree thing started happening, right?
That was the
that's-
first one?
That was
very first.
No, the first one. It was. See, all I'm saying is this: like, okay, imagine the Boston Brew. Imagine Nazem Kadri lays out Brad Marchand in the same way,
Whoa.
and Brad Marchand goes, "If it was me, I would have been suspended." Do you feel bad for Brad Marchand?
No.
Do you-
But that
do you
doesn't
say-
make him wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't make him
My
wrong.
feelings on the matter doesn't
Can you
alter
still
the
say?
facts.
But can you still say, Brad, stop complaining because you're Brad Marchand?
You need to stop altering the facts.
I'm not altering the facts. I am acknowledging what he said and also saying, but come on, dude.
Why
You're
do you-
Tom Wilson. Can you blame them?
Why do you think you have the right to tell a person to stop complaining?
Oh, wow. Okay, Mom. Shit.
That's wild. Wow.
Because I think it's a little bit ridiculous that a guy acts so blissfully unaware of his past. Like, come on, man.
He's not being blissfully unaware. He's acutely aware of his past. And that's why he's so right.
Mm-hmm. Guys, just because he's correct doesn't mean he's not whining
No, but
about
he
it.
needs to be
He's whining.
self-aware to say what he said. So I give him kudos for that, for knowing who he is and what his position is.
Okay,
and
I just
stating the
remember
fact.
this when you two gave Tom Wilson kudos the next time he pulls
Wow.
some bullshit. Because you know what's coming.
All I know is you think you have the right.
You know why I know it's coming? Because Tom Wilson has a reputation for it.
Yeah, sure.
That's what
throw
Tom
this
Wilson
out there.
does.
Let me throw this out there. Forget Stralman's reputation. 'Cause I think I think what Wilson is implying is Stralman does not have a reputation. That's why it wasn't called. He's not getting suspended. Is Wilson's reputation what cut Stralman some slack? Are they like, well, it's
I hope
Tom
not.
Wilson, dirty
I
player.
genuinely hope that's not the case.
No, I think 100% is. Because like I said, if that was Connor McDavid that Stralman hit, then he's probably getting suspended. So, but it's Tom Wilson, so everybody's like, oh, it's just Tom Wilson.
See, now that's shitty.
We like
That's
to think,
wrong.
Yeah, we like to think that the
Adam, you were
NHL
on the other
player
side.
safety. But I'm bringing him back.
But no, but if that's the case, that's shitty. That's not the way you ref a game.
and you should be able to whine and complain about that.
It's not the way you're supposed to. But we like to think that NHL player safety is very surgical and okay, let's go through this frame by frame. No, I think it's a bunch of old knock-around hockey guys watching a video and going,
He can take it.
it's freaking Tom Wilson. Nah, come on, he's selling it. He said this Tom Wilson. He's gonna get up. Roll it back. Watch it again. He even sees him coming. What's he doing? I'm on Stralman's side. Why didn't he? He
Yeah,
saw him
but-
coming. He could have turned his shoulder.
In Tom Wilson's defense, when you
I'm just saying that's my reenactment of George
whether or
Peros
not you
or
see
whoever.
the hit,
Pretty good.
whether or not you see the hit coming, and you're right.
How about now, Josie?
Peros, that's
I hold
good.
my
You should
finger
do a
above my upper
video
lip.
where you're just jumping to different seats in the room as each guy in the video room and doing your different voices for trusted hockey men.
Yeah, I gotta work on my George Peros. I've my Kylie Dubman.
It's pretty good, man.
Getting there.
Your Kyle Dubas was good.
I got the look. I need the sound. I need to practice.
so
the sound.
Your look
Sorry.
is just white guy.
Yeah, and thick frame glasses,
Yeah.
and a pin.
I don't think you look like him at all.
No, I definitely don't. Yeah, some people were like, "Man, you look like it." No,
No, you
I'm
don't.
white with brown hair.
That's racist.
I look like him in the same way that I look like Connor Carrick, and also Zach Hyman, and also Russell Crowe, and also Mel Gibson, and also friggin' what's his name from The Hangover?
do people say you look like someone from The Hangover?
Yeah, not Zach Galifianakis, not the dude from The Office.
Not Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
They think you look like Bradley Cooper?
It's dumb. It's because I have like greeny blue eyes. There's a white person with brown hair and greeny blue eyes. You're Bradley Cooper.
That's funny. All right.
Yes, fat Bradley Cooper.
Whether or not Tom Wilson saw the hit coming, the hit's still illegal. He saw the hit coming. The guy still leaves his skates.
Well, yeah, the leaving the
come on.
skates part. Yeah, what's worse, the hitting from behind or the leaving the skates? I think it's the leaving.
I think the leaving the skates is worse.
Yeah, because that was hitting from behind is something very partially controlled by the guy getting hit if they know it's coming, which Wilson did. Leaving your skates as the attacker, you're in control of that, and he leaves his skates. It's an injustice that Stralman got none. Nah,
He should have got something.
should have got.
And I agree with that.
Wow, Adam. I just want to know what Tom Wilson ever did to you.
He did nothing to me, thank God. I feel like I wouldn't have been able to walk away from it.
Yeah, it'd be pretty bad.
Now, I know that we're supposed to talk about hockey, but the reason I brought up the original point of this, like the start of the show, which is there isn't great storylines in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. It's because the teams not in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals are giving us so much gold right now. And I don't think people really are giving that the love that it needs. And I'm going to start with the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, the gift that keeps on giving, the best.
Apparently Ryan Rishaug speculated that the Oilers, because they are going to give up that 10th round pick or 10th overall pick for something, they would suggest maybe giving up Klefbom and the 10th for Rasmus Ristolainen.
Can you say that again with some emphasis on certain words?
So the Oilers are talking about giving the Buffalo Sabres, what position are they drafting in again?
First.
Right. Talking about, maybe giving them the 10th pick too. And Oscar Klefbom. So he can go play with Rasmus Ristolainen. Not Rasmus Ristolainen. Rasmus Dahlin. So they could get another Rasmus in Mr. Ristolainen. On the already bad Oilers defense.
The 10th and
Oscar
Klefbom. Just the gift that keeps on giving. It's so great. Because, first of all, potentially, I haven't heard it, but potentially poor Rishaug. Because, dude, like how often do we just throw around random crap on this podcast? He was maybe, I don't know, just talking blah, blah, blah. And if he were to listen back, he might go, oh, did I say and? Oh, I didn't mean and. I meant or, when or would still be bad, frankly. But and, whoa. And Oilers Twitter just came undone. Came undone.
I would think Ryan Rishaug, he's been there a long time. I think he would know about his word choice, right? Don't you? And wouldn't he tweet something out and says, oh, sorry, I didn't mean and. Like he would try to correct that, would he not?
Yeah, you would need to be a little bit aware. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Wow, man. If it's the 10th and, they're not the best.
They don't watch the Eastern Conference enough, if that's the case.
They don't watch hockey enough. They don't watch anything enough. Also,
I say Eastern Conference because I think there's this because of the extension Ristolainen signed. There's still a halo effect of people that still think he's really good. He's just on a bad team.
He got a lot of points this season. He got over 40 points as a defender. Mm-hmm. He just
doesn't defend.
All his other numbers are very bad. I saw something that compared him to like Roman Polak or something. Like they were pretty close together. I'm trying to remember the exact chart.
And why not just have Oscar Klefbom back with without that shoulder injury that's been bothering him for 3 years?
No, because you gotta
How about that?
A thing. Man, oh God, I'm trying to remember who wrote it. Was it Dom Lucian, I think? The time for the Oilers to do nothing was 2 years ago. And basically now they got to do something. No team has been victimized by their own impatience more than the Edmonton Oilers. But any Leaf fans who are like, ha, Oilers, I just called them the gift that keeps on giving. We do not want Oscar Klefbom and Rasmus Dahlin and whoever the 10th overall pick is to become Buffalo Sabres overnight.
No, we don't.
That would be very unfortunate. We want Rasmus to stay right where he is because, one, it's a barrel of monkeys every time they play the Leafs. So fun. Him and Kadri going at each other, him holding up the wrong amount of fingers. Oh, it's hilarious. But also, he's not as good as those three things combined.
Well, and then if you are the Leafs, are you not ringing Chiarelli off the hook about Oscar Klefbom?
Oh, my God. Kyle
what
Dubas,
do you want?
Dubas should have something set up like one of those telephone scam things.
Robo-dial?
Yeah, just a robo-dial. What was the Simpsons one?
Yeah, where it tries to get away. And
hey, I'm happy dude, or whatever. I don't even remember what it was.
Remember, he tries to get away and Homer stops it and breaks the legs off of it because he's trying to go back to the nerdy scientist guy?
Yeah.
Professor Frank. Probability that Roman Polak has a higher scoring talent than Ristolainen is 57.7%. And there's a handy chart.
Who is this? Who said this?
See, but the handy chart that's associated with this, every comment on it is, I don't know what any of this means. Because
Is it from Charting Hockey?
It's from Mimico Hero.
Okay, because
Mimico
Charting
Hero.
Hockey is usually pretty clear about that
so
stuff.
one of the scales they use is density, which doesn't make sense to me because this is hockey and not in math. So, and he also has primary points per hour on the other scale, which also, is this a train? Is it traveling per hour? I don't know.
No, it's per hour of hockey played.
What is density?
Great question, Jesse.
Thank you.
I think it's
Density,
the
it's
rate
how
that they
people
score.
describe my intelligence.
Thank you.
Hey,
Get it? Get it?
So somebody asked density, and Mimico Hero said it's scaled so that the area under the curve sums to 100% probability. If you pick two scoring rates, the area under the curve between them represents the probability that the skater's true scoring rate falls in that interval. I still don't know what's going on. So all I know is they're trying to illustrate that Polak can score better than Ristolainen.
Does this diminish his work, or are we all just stupid?
No, I think you got to be better at explaining it to people like us. I don't think everybody, I'm sorry, but I don't think everybody understands that. And if you want to keep it just between you and the community of people that understands it, I get it. But the whole point of those pieces of information is going, and here's what that means, stupid people.
I always rip on stats people for doing that, like dumb it down. But Twitter's weird.
Is it dumb it down, or is it put in a way that a lot of people understand?
Okay, fine, it's that. But on Twitter,
Like,
you think
he knows writing that most people are not going to understand that, right?
But I don't think he did that for us.
It
right?
looks like a pair of awkward boobs. That's what that looks like. I'm sorry. Does it not?
wow.
That's what that looks like to me.
Sometimes you ever
Boob
send
and
a tweet?
boob.
Ever send a tweet thinking that you're just talking to your followers, and then other people latch onto it and they're like, "What? I don't understand what is happening here." That's what we're doing. He didn't write this thinking that three idiots who don't know math are gonna go, "I don't get it."
See,
I've never heard of density. Never.
I just think
heard
more than
density.
5 people have to get this for it to be relevant. Why did you put work into this if
it's
no
still-
one's gonna get it?
It's still relevant but it's just relevant to less people because we don't get it. And I would love to get it. I want to get it. I want to know. Mimico Hero, help me out.
Like, okay, see this chart. It's Ristolainen versus Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I don't understand. That one I don't understand.
That also looks like red and boob.
No, it does.
And they could be man boobs, they could be woman boobs. They're boobs.
The Polak Ristolainen one, I could make the assumption of, well, they're practically the same because the chart, they line up so evenly. This one's in front of the other. I don't know what the hell's going on. But that's because I'm stupid.
Twitter's the
It's not
worst.
his fault. It's not his fault that I don't understand this. I'm sure if I took the time and not just live on the podcast right now.
Steve, the point
can get
is
it.
you should be able to grasp it within about 5 seconds, right?
It's a
But he
tweet.
didn't-
It's
this
a
is
tweet.
an article.
Tweet.
It is just a tweet, though.
Not an
Yeah,
article.
but I don't get it.
Like when Andrew Berkshire writes,
Do you follow him?
I don't, Steve.
So what are you complaining about?
I understand hockey, and I understand some advanced numbers,
oh, no, you don't.
but
Because you don't know
apparently
density.
I don't. I thought I did, but now I realize I'm just dumb because I don't know how density relates to the sport of hockey.
Maybe what the chart is telling me is we're the boobs because we don't get it. That's what it is.
I think we're boobs.
Anyways,
We're boobs.
Here's a hero chart.
Okay,
I get that.
when Andrew Berkshire writes an article for sportsnet.ca.
Shit, he's bad. Sorry, yes?
Polak, we're talking about.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
When he writes an article for .ca, it's 1,000 to 2,000 words.
Right. Words. And he goes,
Yeah.
here is a chart, and here's what the chart tells us.
But I think
Imagine
this is him just
Berkshire-
going, here's an interesting thing.
No,
and
imagine
putting it out into the
Berkshire
world.
took 10 words out of his 1,000-word article and just put it on Twitter. Hey, look at this. This makes sense, everyone. No, you need 1,000 more words around that
Yeah.
10-word thing for people to get it.
And I get why I get why math people like math because you don't need 1,000 words to explain something to a math person. You can just go here.
Okay, so he's got 6,800 followers, and I'm willing to bet most of them
Are math
it
majors.
says Tim McCalla follows him. Tim doesn't get this, but most of the
Sorry, Tim.
6,800 people who follow him probably get it.
Yeah. I bet
And
there's
we're
60
just going, oh, I don't get it.
But I want to get it, man. That's the point. It's worth getting.
Now it's our mission to get him on.
Let's get him on. Can we have him? Please explain your smart stuff.
Yeah.
We should have a segment called "Please Explain Your Extra Smart Stuff."
I would like that. Very
Do you know
much.
what I like?
Explain your boob chart, please. He also tweeted Buds all day in a GIF.
See, I
like
get
him.
that. Do you not get Buds all day? I understand that.
Also Squidward.
Also get
Now
that.
we're just reading his timeline. What's the matter with us?
Go back.
How do we get
Let's
here?
go back 3 years.
Wait, we were talking about the Oilers. Jeez. Yeah.
So, okay, if you're the Oilers,
Jesse's going over more charts
and you
than
want a
he doesn't
defenseman,
understand.
you want a defenseman real bad,
Yes.
why not just wait and see what you have with Oscar Klefbom coming off injury and Darnell Nurse getting better, Adam Larson, if he regains, it's like Nikita Zaitsev, regain 90% of your form, and it's okay. Forget
He's
the fact that
World Hockey Championship.
for sure, so did Nikita Zaitsev.
Oh, sorry, that's who I was talking about.
Oh, okay. The point is, maybe just chill, man. Just chill. Like, there's no Go look. There's a ton of free agents. Go after JVR, maybe.
Well, when Jesse's done looking through his timeline for no good reason, could I see the Oilers cap-friendly situation? Because the McDavid right there extension is about to kick in.
It's gonna hurt.
Well, they got some decisions to make, right, man? Like, okay, he's
Some
about to
dumb
go.
decisions.
How dare you? Both of the smart people we just talked about
Oscar
were named dumb.
Klefbom's contract is beautiful.
Hey, another really interesting contract. 24-year-old Ryan Strome. The heck are they going to do that? Like, there's a trade I understand. If you try to trade Ryan Strome because you're unhappy with him.
He's
But
up.
like,
He's got an RFA, right?
that's what I'm saying. But like Klefbom, you're not unhappy with when healthy.
Well-
Nuge, you're not unhappy with when healthy.
But they finally figured out what Ryan Strome is, and they finally played Ryan Strome like he is. He's a 40-point guy. 45-point guy.
Boy, there is
Kill some penalties. Right?
practically no money coming off the books.
Look at Chris Russell's deal.
Oh my God. So this is the reason.
What is it
If
for
you're
the
going,
people
why
listening?
might
They can't see that.
You're right, Jesse. Very good point. Chris Russell still has.
You're no better than the chart, the boob chart. Why not?
Yeah, Adam, you're the audio version.
True, maybe I admitted to being the boob. Chris Russell has 3 more years at $4 million apiece. He's got $12 million to make over the next 3 years, and then you've got Adam Larson making about that as well. And you got Oscar Klefbom, which I actually think is a pretty sweet deal. And Andre Sekera, $5.5 million. Hopefully he comes back from injury and plays like Andre Sekera.
If
That's fine.
I had a criticism of that deal, it's that it goes for too long. But yeah, he's probably worth about 5.5. Klefbom's deal is nice. That is a very nice deal. Mm-hmm. And it expires right around when it should be expiring. That's a good deal. But, sorry, heading into next season, what's their dollar situation like? They still got a bit of room.
Sure.
The problem is they need to be better.
And they have
Right?
a bunch
They
of,
need to add.
They have a bunch of positions they need to fill with that room. Like
Right.
they've only got their top 4 really figured out because you got to re-sign Darnell Nurse, Matt Benning. You've also got to do something about.
Oh, I didn't even see Nurse.
yeah.
That's bad. Okay, you know what? Yeah, no, that
Slepyshev.
situation's is bad. Worse than I thought.
Yeah, that's bad. And then you've wrapped up $2.5 million in a goalie that you don't know anything about, really.
There's 2 guys who are probably bailing for the KHL: Anton Slepyshev and Johan Oivitu.
Okay. And then you've got
Oivitu.
Al Montoya signed through next season. You've got Mikko Koskinen and $2.5 million. So you bury Al Montoya, you still got $162,000 that's going to sit on the cap.
They probably try to move one of them. Well, not one of them. Montoya.
So
My only thing with the Oilers is that I don't think they're a bad team. I think they played under expectations last season, and I think if you just left them alone, they'd come back decent and probably make one of the
Cam Talbot's not injured.
late playoffs. If Cam Talbot played decently, they're probably in one of the 8, 7, 6 playoff
Also, the
spots.
penalty kill thing.
Yeah, that was
insane.
historically bad, and nobody will come back and do that same thing because it's not possible.
It would be hard to do.
Their home penalty kill, at one point, wasn't their home penalty kill worst and their road penalty kill the best?
Yes, yeah, they were literally 30th and first.
That's and the 30th was historic. No,
Historically.
31st.
31st now, yeah.
You know what I can't wait for? the articles about Pete Chiarelli's genius when they go back and make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, because they're just going to come back to normal.
Yeah, exactly.
And then everything's going to look great in Edmonton.
Carolina, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Genius of Tom Dundon.
yeah.
So I wanted to get to that because Carolina has made it clear, evidently, that they are open for business except for Sebastian Aho.
Yeah.
So their entire roster is available. And that includes like guys like Justin Falk or Pesce and all those other guys.
Dudes like Jake Bean. Yeah.
Skinner.
Noah Hannafin.
Right. And so here's the thing. And Steve and I were talking about this in the elevator. And we have thought this before, said this before. I don't know. I don't know how they don't see themselves as a Connor Hellebuck away, a goalie away. They made the wrong bet on the wrong goalie. They got to figure. I don't think Scott Darling's the guy. I just don't.
Well, he certainly had a bad year, and it's possible they're doing something poor defensively. But also, Cam Ward played too many damn games. He's not a great goalie anymore, and they're going to have to go out and replace him. If they re-sign him, fold the franchise. I don't understand. I've never seen a team so married to a player. Like, dude, he's had like a 15-year career so far or something like that, a 13-year career. Mm-hmm. He's had like 4 or 5 good seasons.
Last one, 2004.
It's time to move on, guys.
Yeah.
It's time to move on. It's nothing against this player. But you don't need to be the ones who have him. Like, what is the plan here? Were you waiting for him to retire and that was going to be your GM? Was that the holdup? Move on from this player, guys. The issue is you got to go out and find another goalie. You can find another goalie.
You can. Find a league average goalie. That team's in the playoffs, which is, to me, what I don't understand is why, and I know it's harder than you think to find a league average goalie, but don't tell me they don't have the assets to do it. Also, and assets to do it without subtracting from their current roster.
Yep. And you know, you sign a goalie, they're a maybe. With Ward, it's a hard no.
Yeah.
You know it's a no. Go out and get the maybe. And at least you tried something. Calvin Pickard, sure, maybe. There's a bunch of maybes out there. We went through the whole list of goalies last episode. I just don't understand their affection for this player.
So that's going to be the thing, though. Is you know, and obviously they say they're open for business, but that business is always going to come at a cost. And people instantly, in Toronto at least, and I'm sure every team that's not in the playoffs right now is going, well, that player would sure look great. And of course, you see the trade proposals on the table where Toronto gives up nothing and gets Justin Falk. It's like, well, no, that's not going to happen. They want to get better, not worse. But do you see, as we've talked about this before again too, is Toronto and Carolina seem like good potential trade partners?
A great fit.
However, Toronto's situation is different from what we said last year because last year they were overflowing with assets at the winger position. Now it's arguable that they're full at winger position, but maybe not overflowing.
They don't have so much depth that they can waste it. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, you know, sometimes you take a hit at a position to get stronger at another. There's a decent argument to take a hit at wing to get better at D, for sure, for the Leafs. But it's funny because we often have talked about, like throughout the season, we talked about, could the Leafs give the Oilers Josh Leivo? Could the Leafs give the Oilers Nikita Soshnikov? Oh, okay, well, what do the Leafs get in return? Well, there's the rub. That was the problem. With Carolina, it seems like a decent match, right?
But what's the match?
Well, that becomes a very difficult conversation to have because, you know, we go Hannafin and they go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And we go Nylander, they go Nylander and we go, whoa, whoa, whoa. So what's the happy medium? Do you really want to move? Dude, I am so excited about Kasperi Kapanen.
Me too. I don't want to move him.
I do not want to move on from that player.
He'll be their number 1 penalty killer next year. Him and Zach Hyman on the same penalty kill. Come on. It's disgusting.
It's tough as a Leaf fan of a team that's been good for back-to-back years now. Because I'm attached to these players. People keep going, okay, well, if you want to get a good defender, it starts with either Kapanen or Brown. I've seen a lot of people tweeting. I'm like, oh, I really like the both of them, though. But I think we have talked about in the past, like Connor Brown is maybe a player you could afford to give up, but he does so much for the team. It's tough. See how animated and jacked I am for this? Maybe it's the coffee. Who
How
knows?
much does Carolina's internal cap affect their chances to win? Because they're operating with $59 million right now of a cap hit this season. And that's definitely...
This past season?
This past season.
That's impressive.
That's definitely on their own doing. Because nobody's leaving $15 million of cap space if you can spend it.
Were they also not finished? Did the purchase not go through till January? Because they may have been running at a reduced cap because the Carmanos family was trying to sell them and they were suing their dad and their dad was suing
who
them.
did they get rid of at the deadline, if anyone?
I don't think.
I don't know if they did.
I don't think so.
Didn't they add?
By the way, Cam Ward was making $3.5 million last year.
Yep. Figure that one out. Same as James Reimer. He's making the same amount of money as James Reimer. Reimer's had a lot more good seasons over the last 5 years than Cam Ward.
I agree.
I don't get it.
The last trade the Hurricanes made was to acquire Greg McKegg.
I did not know that.
And he is now on Pittsburgh. Greg McKegg has bounced around.
I was about to say, that guy owns a lot of jerseys.
And before that, they acquired Marcus Kruger for a 5th-round pick from Las Vegas.
Cool.
Yeah, so...
Looking at a bunch of other trades, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care about any of these
Okay,
trades.
so here's...
Wow.
If the Leafs really want to get stronger on the right-handed side,
Right-handy.
right-handy,
Okay.
and they...
Justin Hall.
They're probably thinking, well, yes, everybody wants a number one right-handed defenseman. Well, you're not going to get that unless you're giving up significant things. So
the
is
problem.
it better to promote from within and give yourself a few more guys who can fight for those positions? As in, and I hesitate to bring this up. I'm just looking at Carolina's roster. Please, everybody, chill. Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Is he a bottom pairing right-handed defenseman? Is he better than Roman Polak?
I mean, yeah. But... like
Then that's an improvement,
this is
right? And he'd come at a low cost.
The discussion we had on the way in is like, should the Leafs get... like, I just get sick of I get sick of free agent talk before it even happens.
Yes, we
And
were talking
We've
about
also
that.
done this 800 million times.
Should the Leafs get Calvin Hahn? Yeah. All right, next. Should the Leafs get Derek Ryan?
Yeah.
I mean, for sure.
It's
for sure.
name the guy
All right,
that's
next.
better than Roman Polak in what they have.
Sorry,
And
what I was
yeah.
talking
We're
about
not
was the
winning
strategy.
You're not winning a Stanley Cup by improving on Roman Polak. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why...
I think for sure you are, but you have to improve on more than him.
This is what I'm saying, Brooksy. You can improve that position for sure. But you know what you've done? You've improved at third RD.
Mm-hmm.
You need to improve at 2 RD and 1 RD.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that in one fell swoop by getting a number one guy and pushing the other two down. It's just more expensive.
So
You
my
want to
point
take the
is,
407 or the 401? It's difficult. It's difficult. You don't know if there's an accident.
so the thing is, whether they get a 1 RD or a 2 RD,
drive?
I drive.
whether you get a 1 RD or a 2 RD, the fact of the matter is that person is going to be the 1 RD on this team.
Yeah, but
Or unless you put Jake Gardner or Nikita Zaitsev up there.
come now. You stop it.
If Nikita Zaitsev is
Ryan Ellis, here we go.
90% of what Nikita Zaitsev was last year, and that's high. Or of
could
the year,
be.
sorry, of the year before. If he's 90%, he is a strong, I think, 2 RD. He's a good 2 RD in the NHL.
Adequate.
Sure,
I'll say adequate.
adequate. So do you then go out and get your 1 RD, or do you push and try to push him down to 3?
Yeah, I mean, there's too many ifs. Like, okay, if Ron Hainsey is...
I'm trying not to use names here because I don't want it to be about Trevor Van Riemsdyk. I want it to be about what is the strategy.
Oh, I'm away from Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Like, if the Leafs have October to February Ron Hainsey, and if Nikita Zaitsev takes a step, and if Justin Hall or whatever, if the Leafs can improve on 3RD, like, to me, it's putting an air freshener in your car when you're the one wearing stinky clothes and stinking up the car. You know, you're masking the problem a little bit. You need to take care of the big issue, which is you stink.
Justin Hall then. is he a guy that can improve the Leafs defense?
Yes.
First game next season.
Yes.
Where
but
does
that's not enough. You know what I mean?
So you're saying they have to make a move?
Having Justin Hall on your roster doesn't make you a Stanley Cup contender.
No. So then the question is, and again, what do you do? Do you get the 1? Do you get the 2? Or do you get the 3?
I think the simple thing is you just get better at those positions. And it's not a matter of...
Like, who plays with Riley next year? It's not going to be Haynes. It can't be.
I think it will.
Yeah, I think to start the year, Haynes
I think
will come
Babcock...
back. Yeah.
One thing Babcock was better at this year than he was the year previous was mix and matching. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if he does that more next year. The other thing is, like, let's not forget the Leafs had 105 points this season. And if they don't get the deal they want at the draft or in July, August, September, they can go into next season with Hainsey, Zaitsev, Hall if they really want, or Hainsey, Zaitsev, whatever. They can go into next season confident with, yeah, this is a bit of a weakness of ours, but we'll still get by. And if a trade comes up in November, December, what have you, then we'll approach it then.
Maybe an Igor Ozhiganov?
Yeah, again, like, if he turns out to be an NHL level 3D or 3RD.
Found money.
You found money, but it's a big for me.
But that's the same thing as, hey, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, just throw him in. You know, it's not...
TVR, I think, is maybe better than Zaitsev, but... And it would strengthen the team, for sure. Mm-hmm. But I just...
But it's not the solutions you're looking for.
Okay.
You're right.
But is it part of a solution?
Sure.
Sure, the whole thing is improving a player. So
you think he's better than Zaitsev?
He certainly was this past season. I think. I don't remember his numbers. Wasn't he hurt? A big chunk?
I think he might have been.
There's too many damn players in this league, dude. It's like 800 players. Can't keep track of them all. All charts look like boobs. We sound real smart today.
Every day.
Every day.
Okay. Yeah. All I'm saying, I'm just trying to figure out what you do.
Shows.
I'm just trying to figure out what you do. But I guess we'll find out.
I think you get a guy who's better than the guys. And I think that's the simple thing that every time we do this, we come to the conclusion that you need to get, okay, we got Hainsey, we got Polak, and we got Zaitsev. And we need guys who are better than these guys.
Of those guys, Zaitsev is the only one who's due to look up.
Yes, and because Hainsey's he's not trending up. He's 37.
And Zaitsev had a concussion.
And Zaitsev had a concussion, and Polak's not going to come back, hopefully.
Right.
So you get guys who are better than the guys you have.
Right, okay.
And it's a matter, I don't know how we want to go about getting those, how the Leafs want to go about getting those guys, but I don't know.
How would you do it, armchair GMs? That's all I'm saying.
A little bit of context. Someone asked Scott Wheeler, it was Ramsville, couple days ago, asked Scott Wheeler, who on D do you realistically see in the NHL? And I bring this up on the show because I agree with basically everything he said. Travis Dermott is a top 4 next season.
Yes.
Justin Hall, fine 5-6 or injury replacement.
Great.
Borgman, fine injury replacement. Morinson, fine injury replacement. Rosen, fine injury replacement. Liljegren, top 6 in 2019-20, so 2 seasons from now. I'm a little bit more optimistic on Borgman because there were some flashes that I really liked with him. But other than that, I agree with it. I agree with all of it. So,
I really wish Liljegren was ready for next season.
Oh, I know. It's not fair.
Is there a chance that something happens this summer? Like, I mean, remember Lou Lamoriello was like, yeah, Mitch Marty's not ready. Is there a chance?
I think there's a chance he maybe makes it partway through the year.
Like what Dermott did.
Yes. Yeah. I think there's a chance for that. But then, again, that's another example of maybe
don't rush
putting
it.
Too much on the kid. Like Dermott came in and we're like, look at this kid go. And then the playoffs came and we're like, oh, heavens.
Yeah.
Didn't go so good. He was also coming back off injury and yada, yada, yada.
It was like Mitch Marner last year in the playoffs when he came back from. Didn't he have the flu and then he broke something or something like that, and then he didn't play all that great.
He cracked the rib, and I think he had like strep throat or something. Like that. He had something.
And
nasty.
He slowed down towards the end of the season.
He didn't look great in the playoffs against Washington. Oh my God! Can you imagine if we got the Boston version of Marner against Washington? They'd have beaten him
for sure.
But anyway. Whole lot of ifs and buts for the past 2 years. But I think also, like, heading into the summer, don't you want to negotiate from a position of strength? Dubas can't go in there. I think too many GMs declare, here's what we want to do. Here's where we suck. And we need to not suck there in the future. And we're going to immediately address not sucking there.
It does sort of paint you into a corner.
Yeah, you got Dubas, who's already mysterious, sort of, to, I think, a lot of the traditional guys, randomly going, to a defense that most people around the league agree is bad, going, I think it's fine.
I don't think it's as bad as it's portrayed, but I don't think it's great either.
I think you're right. They beat Boston, we're like, it's fine.
What? Totally. 100%.
They have a good third period. I'm still not over it!
Justin Hall, I think, is in the lineup next year. I'm just throwing that out there. Now, question for you. You've got the best.
Sure.
You had the best top 4 in the league. Best top 4 D in the league. This is a different team, obviously. Okay.
Yeah.
Best
The
top
Nashville
4.
Predators.
Yes. You lose a heartbreaking 7th game.
A definitive 7th game.
But a heartbreaking, but a definitive, sure.
Yeah.
But a series you easily could have won.
Sure.
Is the obvious solution to trade PK Subban?
Yep.
I guess that's the rumor. Now, Peter Laviolette has come out and said, nope, not going to happen.
That was great. Someone asked him about it, and he goes, where's he going? that was great. That was great.
But isn't that, I mean, if you got to think, if that even was a possibility, that would be the most insane thing ever, right?
I mean, I don't know. It depends who's coming back. But
We've already had one team burned trading PK, right?
Of all the moves you can make, that's the one? It completely depends on who's coming back. Dude, I'll trade anybody if the return's good.
To me, Nashville is the ultimate, just leave it. What does Nashville even need to do?
I asked Predators fans that on Twitter. And actually, this was interesting, too, because we talked about the Hurricanes as a decent trade partner. Dude, the Preds. Because everyone was talking about secondary scoring on that team is really what they need. Guys up the wing. Mm-hmm. I can help you with that.
Yeah,
the issue is, that's the easiest area to address in free agency.
Right, and Ryan Ellis is not coming cheap.
No. Dude, you add JVR to that roster?
Scary.
Dominant.
Can they afford him?
Can they afford? I mean, probably not. I don't know if a cup contender is affording JVR. Blackhawks will find a way.
They have $67 million tied up. Yeah, they could afford him. But they've got,
why does it have to be? Yes.
Fisher, Hartnell, and Yemelin are the only ones that are. And Yemelin's going back to the KHL, from what I've heard.
Oh, is he? And Fisher's retired.
Yep. Until next trade deadline. And then Scott Hartnell. I mean, sure, you could bring Scott Hartnell back, but it costs you $1 million. Like, it's
what's he making now?
$1 million.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought he was still on his old deal.
So it's like, you've got, they're major. Like, it's funny. You look at the Oilers and you go, oh my God, they've got so much money locked up in so many players. The Predators do too, but it's Ryan Johansson.
What's the difference, Adam?
Ryan Johansson, Philip Forsberg, Craig Smith, Victor Arvidsson, Nick Bonino, Kyle Turris, and Calle Yarncroc. That's on the forward. I'm okay with those guys being locked up until all of them 2021 at least. And then you've got PK, Roman Josi, and Matthias Ekholm locked up for at least the next 2 years, that is. And then Ryan Ellis, by the way, who only makes $2.5 million. Come on!
Such a good deal. Yeah,
That's
everyone's
next
talking
season.
about him getting moved.
No, that's the guy you don't move. I mean, why? Unless you're getting a king's ransom
The
for him.
Preds are in this position because they're smart.
I think you leave
They're
it
not
alone.
going to get rid of one of the best sweetheart deals for a right D in the league.
Is
2.5?
Oh, so here's the question: then is UC Saros the goalie of the future for them?
It's weird to me that everyone's like, well, he's the starter now. Like, even if he is, I think it'd be a transition, wouldn't it? Like, maybe
Like 40 and 40?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's what I would do.
ish.
Yeah.
Can
Something
you
like
get
that.
Pecorine to agree to that? And
You ride the
Well,
hot
you're
hand.
bringing him back for he's coming back. He's under
He has to.
contract, so you're going to play him.
For good
$7
money.
million.
Yeah.
$7 million. He's not going to get that anywhere else.
It's kind of like the Lundqvist thing. He's there. You're paying him. Lundqvist was 10.5, I think. So he's going to play.
8.5 cap hit.
8.5.
I think in
cap hit.
actual money, it might have been 10.5.
Okay, well, 8. And so you bring Pecorine back for a 7. You might as well play him 40 games.
question:
Yeah.
When do goalies normally hit their peak?
That's a good question. I think it's around 30.
Around 30?
Yeah, but probably just before.
Okay. Because UC Saros, I mean, like, he's 23, so you got Pecorine for another year anyway. Split it.
Would it be around 30? I don't know. It's a good question. I feel like athletes peak earlier now. But, good question. Good question.
I don't know.
You can bring up examples of
Listen,
which is which.
Nashville, leave it alone. Don't touch it. Don't pick it.
We've said it 1,000 times. I think the worst thing you can do I think teams make more mistakes after a playoff loss than after a disappointing season.
Can we talk about their draft
overall.
situation, though?
What was that?
No first, no second, third, Columbus is fourth, 2 fifths, and a seventh.
And I don't mind that because with this team, you go for it.
Yeah.
You trade everything, you go for it. This
It's
is
like
your
the
window.
Caps last year.
Yeah.
They have no picks. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, they've also got to re-sign Hartman and Salamaki, but they're RFAs.
I looked up this article from the CBC. It's from 2014. It was written by Daniel Schwartz, CBC News. He says, for goalies, they did a little research on when professional athletes peak, specifically
Crazy on Google today, man.
hockey players.
You're so fast.
He said for goalies in hockey, performance varies little by age. At every age between 20 and 37, their save percentage is between 90% and a tiny fraction over 91%. But 28 is the most common age, with 26 through 29 very similar. So,
Late 30s.
there you go.
Or late 30s. Late
Just
20s.
just before your 30s.
Just before your 30s. This is Freddie Anderson's right in the sweet spot.
It's time to win a cup. Yeah.
Let's go.
Don't blow Freddie Anderson's prime.
Let's play him 70 games next year.
70 games.
Denmark blew Freddie Anderson's prime.
They sure did. If they could have just scored a couple goals.
Another goalie who was eliminated with a save percentage above 9-4. Sorry, we jinxed it. How do you jinx that?
Yeah.
Latvia is the answer, by the way.
What?
Latvia eliminated Denmark
It
at
looks
the World
like
Hockey Championship.
it looks like Oliver Ekman-Larsson has decided to join the Shane Doan Club. He is in negotiations for
Going to
an
the Jets?
8-year extension.
Yeah. Is he allowed to do that yet? Because I don't know
As
if
of
he is.
July 1st, I would think.
Yeah.
So they could off the record talk, couldn't they? They just can't sign it. You could off the record talk. You could
do that.
Well, how stupid is that?
Well,
Oh, you can't talk about it. We're going to regulate what you can say. Shut up.
like
Come
the
on.
Leafs and Matthews have said absolutely nothing.
We've never talked about this
No,
ever. No,
never.
we've never talked to our superstar that didn't say we want him to stay. Never. Never. Give me a break.
Gotta see this
What
on
joke
YouTube.
is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get that. I don't
So,
get
yeah.
it. Also,
8
it can change.
8-year extension.
Is that good news? Who's that good news for?
Arizona fans?
Arizona for sure. Is it good news for hockey? Because the Coyotes are friggin' staying in Arizona. They're not moving them. They've put like a...
Imagine they put half the effort of keeping the Jets in Winnipeg originally.
Oh,
that
my
they
God.
put into the Coyotes
They've
staying
been
in Arizona.
They've been jumping on this square peg and jamming it into that round hole with 2 feet.
And thank God they did, because the Leafs have Austin Matthews.
Exactly. So they're trying their best to make Arizona work. And if they lose Ekman-Larsson, like arguably the best draft pick they've ever had, like just pack it up. What are you doing there? What are you there for? If they're able to lock him up, I think it's a good thing for the team going forward. And I still think, wouldn't it be great? And the Pacific is on its way down. Like, wouldn't it be great if all of a sudden there's this great Golden Knights Coyotes rivalry? It's great for the sport.
I'm a little disappointed they lost the draft lottery. Would have been cool to see
Dahlin
Larson and
yeah.
Dahlin.
Well, you won't see Ristolainen and Dahlin, that's for sure, because Risto will be in Edmonton. Can I tell you a story about when
they keep Ristolainen and then like they call the pairing like Rasmus, but the first S is a 2.
I like that.
Buffalo, hire me. There you go.
Well,
Like,
Joseph,
Rasmus.
your buddy works for them, Joseph.
I'm going to text him right now.
Tell him that.
gonna
By the way,
tell
can I
him.
want to tell
It's
you?
like those Derek Jeter shirts where they like change
Respect.
the respect to a 2.
Respect.
It's not an S, people. It's reaching. Come on.
It's an upside down 5.
I'm literally going to text someone who works for the Sabres right now.
Didn't tell them to do that. What I wanted to bring up, what was that for? Respect is earned.
I think that was when he was retiring. Those was retirement T-shirts.
Read to Pecht.
Anyways.
When I flew into Phoenix, I went to the rental car spot. And I flew into Phoenix for my honeymoon and going to the rental car place and was thinking about, Sedona's like a couple hours away from Phoenix, but we thought maybe we go catch a hockey game in Arizona. That'd be fun, right?
Wouldn't it be?
Wouldn't it be? And so I asked the woman at the rental car place, so how far away is where the Coyotes play? Like where's the arena? I don't even know what the arena's called. Do you know what the arena's called? And she's like, honestly, I have no idea.
I don't know what it's called.
Well, it wasn't even that she didn't know where the arena was.
She was annoyed that you even asked her?
She didn't know where the arena was, sorry. She didn't know the name of it, and she barely knew the Coyotes were a team.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Oh, jeez. Ratumus.
Do you think there's a person in Toronto who doesn't know who the Leafs are?
I don't think so.
Like
Unless they don't speak the language, which there are a lot of people here that don't speak English. So they don't speak the language, and maybe they're new to the country. You've seen a Leafs jersey.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen a blue and white jersey. You probably could recognize the logo, even if you're not even sure what sport it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just ingrained. It'd be like, I would imagine it's like Cardinals in Arizona. The Arizona Cardinals are a huge deal. Football team.
Thank you, Adam. Because I was like, yes, Mark McGuire.
And the Diamondbacks.
I know them.
Baseball.
They used to have the green. I don't know if they still do.
They would know who the
Randy
Suns are.
Johnson. They won the World Series in Game 7. I watched it in my parents' basement.
The University of Arizona has the naming rights to the stadium where the Cardinals play. It's called the University of Arizona Stadium, I think, or Field, one or the other. But it doesn't have an actual physical location because it's an online university. Oh. So they have a building where an NHL franchise plays, but they don't have a building for students, which I find fascinating.
There's a lot of fascinating things going on in the world. That is one of them. Certainly. Enough people go to the University of Arizona that they could buy a football stadium.
You mean log on to.
Log on to. Enough people.
Yeah.
Would you subscribe to?
It's subscribe.
Yo,
on
we got
the
so many
university.
subs. Let's name a stadium after this.
Hey, bros, I'm your professor. Click like if you like this lesson. Click subscribe if you really liked it.
Is the University of Arizona run by a bunch of YouTubers?
Oh my God, can you imagine? YouTube anniversary.
No.
Most of you answered B, and you were correct. Like Spike, guys. That's a university.
It would be like, hey bros, welcome to lecture 101. Oh, that's just my laundry room in the background. Sorry. Yeah, no, anyway, it would just be the most frantic weirdo. Like,
This is like, it's a university. I used to see ads for it and think it like, oh, if I click this, I'm going to get a virus. And now they own a football stadium.
it's awesome.
The naming
rights,
at least.
The naming rights, whatever.
They own the building, but
That's big.
Still, yeah.
That's
Tens of millions of dollars. How much did the Air Canada Center sell the Scotiabank Arena for?
$4 billion.
$4 billion. Well,
I made that up.
no. It's around, isn't it like $200 million?
It's like, I'm pretty sure you could literally buy a spaceship for the amount of money.
Do you remember how
Scotiabank?
much the Scotiabank Arena deal was
$800 million over 20 years.
800. So I assume
$40 million a year.
for an NFL team, it's bigger than that.
Not.
I wasn't even
No?
that far off.
The Leafs naming rights are the biggest in North America, and I think they're the biggest in the world right now. That'll change.
Because it's
but I'm pretty
NHL
sure
and NBA, maybe.
Yeah, but it's also
It's
they're the biggest, and like I'm pretty sure no stadium anywhere has ever paid that much.
It's got to be. I wonder, does anyone who listens to this podcast work at the Air Canada Center? I think we know at least a couple. Like, it's got to be at least decent for shifts. Like, how many nights do you have off if you work for the Air Canada Center? There's something there every night.
300 nights a year, it's busy. Between concerts, The Rock, which is
surprised
our
they have
lacrosse
60.
team, and then Raptors, Leafs, and Yeah, 300 nights a year.
I'm surprised they even have 65 days off. That's bananas.
Tonight, the ACC, nothing going on.
Actually,
Whoa.
do you know that?
There's probably a concert.
Oh,
that
Might
you
be
don't know about.
guessing.
Rod Stewart.
Would sell the damn place out.
He actually did. I think he sold out 2 nights.
Who's it? Billy Joel, who has a banner?
Well, say hi to my mother-in-law.
No,
There's-
Bon Jovi.
Oh, Bon Jovi.
Very different. Bon Jovi.
I didn't remember
And you
who
know,
it was.
It is
Apparently
the
the
weirdest
reason
assortment. Russell Peters as well, I think.
He has a banner?
I'm pretty sure.
And Madonna and Headley and
No, Headley doesn't
Headley
have a
doesn't.
I think
banner.
Headley
banner.
does. Yeah,
Look that up. There's no, they don't.
I hope not.
No.
I think you made that up.
I might have made that
Could
up.
they sell out Rico today?
Not now, not after what's happened. Not after the scandal thing.
They're not in.
But
Canada
they've sold
Center?
out the Air Canada Center before.
No, they haven't.
They have. They sold out the
How many
Saddledome in
tickets?
Calgary.
Okay, for a band, what would selling out
14,
the Air Canada Center?
15,000. No. They've done it, man. They have done it. They headline tours in Canada. It's like Billy Talent. It's like in Canada and in Germany, they're a headlining act.
Okay, here's how little I know about Headley. I was about to sing a song of theirs, and I realized it was Yellow Card. If I could find you now.
Yeah.
With the violin.
Bon Jovi's sold out 17 concerts at the ACC.
Holy shit.
I still don't think you get a banner for that.
Okay.
Banners are for sports teams, people,
Remember when,
not
Bon
musicians.
Jovi.
do you know why he got it though?
No.
Yeah, because wasn't he trying to invest? And he was trying to
He
buy.
was partnering with Larry Tannenbaum
Yeah.
to try to get an NFL team, and they were real close. They almost got the Bills. They were this close to
Yeah,
getting the
he
Bills.
wants an NFL team, and he wanted to get the Bills with Larry Tannenbaum.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Hey,
I don't even think the Pagulas outbid them, Mike. I think they bid more, but I think the NFL wanted to keep the team rightfully in Buffalo.
Yeah, it made sense.
It did.
Yeah, it was the
Toronto
right
should
call.
get, if there's an expansion, Toronto should get that.
Maybe.
I don't think
I don't
so.
know if there's enough NFL fans here.
I don't think it would do well.
You guys are wrong.
No.
You guys are so wrong.
You can't just say that with no facts.
You can't just say that, oh no, the NFL won't work here. Come
No.
on now.
It's too much.
My subjective
It's too much.
opinion is that I don't think there's enough NFL fans here to support that.
Then you make them. Then you make them fans.
That's easier said than done.
They will make them fans.
You know what?
I would be a season ticket holder the first season.
We need everyone to have 9 children. Population of Toronto needs to be 12 million.
I also hate Tom Wilson's children. Because that's apparently the stance Adam's taking. Today.
I've never said anything about Tom
Does he
Wilson's
have
children.
kids? We should maybe look that up.
I think it's a joke and it doesn't matter.
Thank you.
All right.
I think it's just a joke.
I think you
If
should
it's
apologize.
If it's taken as anything else, then then there's nothing I can do to
I
help
need you to do a Joey Votto apology tour
Oh my god!
and explain
Can
yourself.
we talk about that?
Why?
guess.
No.
No,
Okay,
Jesse has probably spent the last 15 consecutive hours working on Joey
just a-
Votto
it's
She's
material.
an idiot.
Yeah. Is he an idiot or did he just say something idiotic? Like I don't think he was like
That one.
I listened to the clip. It's with Passan, right? On is it Passan's podcast or who was it on?
No, it wasn't Jeff Passan's. It was a Yahoo podcast, but it wasn't Jeff's.
Right. Okay. So he definitively says,
I don't care.
"I don't give a rat's ass."
That's a literal quote. Rat's ass. Yeah.
Now, when he did come out with his apology, I liked his apology. I thought it was great. He said it came from a place of pettiness. He's pissed that the Jays didn't pick him out of high school. Fine. Teams miss. That happens. And he's pissed about he was pissed about something else. He said, and I give him respect for this. He said it was me being petty. Came from a place of pettiness.
So he apologized. It was a good
And he owned
apology.
it. Yeah.
Do we move on? Like it was funny.
I think the most Canadian thing about this is that makes him Canadian is he's good at apologizing.
wow.
And the other thing was James Paxton's no-hitter is what he was initially asked about.
Right.
That led to this conversation because he's like I forget whoever's the MLB Yahoo podcast. They asked him about, hey, you're Canadian. What do you think of James Paxton's no-hitter in Toronto that happened last week? And then he goes on this tirade about I'm petty and I don't give a rat's ass about Canadian baseball.
What percentage of questions Joey Votto gets asked in the States do you think begin with, so you're Canadian, etc.?
And you play for a
he's
team
gotta-
that are red.
Yeah, so he's got to be so sick of it. Like, I just think it's weird that, yeah, he deserves flack for what he said, but I just think it's weird that he writes Humboldt on his shoes, and everyone's like, that's amazing! And he writes the name of the cop who took down the attacker in Toronto, and they go, that's amazing! And I saw a viral clip of him talking about, Celsius, shout out Canada. And everyone's like, that's amazing. Then he says one thing and everyone's like, screw Joey Votto forever.
Dude.
Joey Votto's canceled. Joey canceled.
He's the best Canadian baseball player since Larry Walker. And he is a representative of us, who's a good representative of us in a sport that doesn't have a lot of represent. And he's saying specifically, he said, I don't care about Canadian baseball.
Yeah. Oh, he deserves
and
that.
I actually got some people tweeting me back going, well, he hasn't played here since he was like 16.
So?
What has Canadian baseball done for him?
Like, imagine how damaging.
It gave him his old damn start.
Imagine how damaging it would be if Andrew Wiggins was just like, screw Canadian basketball.
It's just a weird.
He's the face of it.
And again, I respect his apology. I just think it was
Steve
super.
Nash,
It was
but
super weird.
Today's.
It was super weird. It was just a weird thing to say.
Yeah, I don't know why he said it.
Bad mood? Just in
I
a
don't
bad
know.
mood?
I have no
He
idea.
said it. Caught him at the wrong time.
He comes from a place of pettiness.
Yeah, but I don't even know if I believe that. I don't know what he was thinking at the time.
I think he was thinking I'm on a podcast, and I'm just going to say a rat's ass.
It's so confusing.
How many people come on this podcast and they're like, so I can swear here? They get like all excited. And
Like,
they're
no
Does
one.
CJ swear here?
I think he has.
Yeah,
I think
he has.
I
yeah.
respect that.
He has. He has when he was talking about Phil Kessel in his first playoff run with the Penguins beating whoever they beat in the conference final. I'm trying to remember who that was now. And, CJ walks over to him, and Kessel obviously knows him from the Toronto days. And this is obviously the subtext of them even looking at each other is, man, I came from the Leafs to this. And Kessel just looked at CJ and went, fuck.
I forgot that story.
And he told that, oh man, lots of people have dropped F-bombs on the show. Him, David Alter, for sure.
Okay, something that's worth talking about.
Whoa.
LeBron James. 42
New
points.
coach of the Toronto Raptors.
42 points, 12 assists, 10 rebounds. He scored 21 of Cleveland's first 27 points. Team loses.
Did you see the
Isn't that insane?
You see the Tony X tweet?
No, what do you
It's
say?
like LeBron like this. And the quote is, I gotta do everything my goddamn self.
SNL,
true.
SNL did a bit on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it's
Donald
like,
Glover.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like, we're the other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just,
I pick up his dry cleaning.
it's unbelievable.
Hey, and just watch, Cleveland's gonna go down 3-0. And then he's just going to friggin' break the glass on every dunk on his way to 4 straight wins.
The Executive of the Year nominees are out. Can you guess the 3 GMs?
For
NHL?
Yes.
Oh, did this just get
NHL.
released?
Oh, like this. Mm-hmm. It's just dropped.
Adam, stop looking it up. I'm asking you to guess.
Shit.
Did you see it?
No. I was looking at Ryan Rashog's tweets.
Executive of the Year. Okay. David Poile. George McPhee. That's tough. Who did a good job of it? Maybe. Okay. David Poile, George McPhee, randomly, Kevin Cheveldayoff.
Adam Wild?
George McPhee for sure. New Jersey's general manager is Ray Shero.
Yep.
I'm going to say him.
Shoot, that's a good one.
And
That's a really good one.
And I'm going to say, just for fun, Steve Yzerman.
You
Also
both
a very good one.
have 2 out of the 3.
Whoa.
Interesting.
All right.
Which one of your
I think
3 is wrong?
Steve Yzerman is wrong for me, I think.
Cheveldayoff is wrong.
You both got those questions wrong.
Really?
So
Yzerman's up?
It's Stevie Y, George McPhee, and Kevin Cheveldayoff.
Wow. And not Ray Shero?
Yeah, no ratio.
Not David Poile?
Nope.
Now,
So this is interesting. This is the
Okay.
wrinkle. This is from Elliot. Voting takes place after the second round.
that is 100%
Crap.
why I did. Everyone erased David
crap.
Poile the second the Predators lost.
It's
Why would-
bullshit.
why would
It's bullshit. It's so bullshit.
Right.
It's complete bullshit. Why after the second round? Why not? If you're gonna do it during the playoffs, do it after the Stanley Cup or do it before the playoffs. Complete bullshit. Anyways, I'm upset.
So idiotic. This is so idiotic.
So 3 nominees for GM of the Year: Kevin Cheveldayoff, George McPhee, Stevie Weiss.
How hard is it to put out a ballot and go, which one do you guys think? I know you're doing all these other ones, so why don't you just do this all? Like, can you imagine me like, okay, guys,
it's one extra thing.
We need you to get the players. Oh, but you don't have time to do the execs.
No,
that's one more thing. We're gonna take that off your plate. Don't worry, we'll hit you back in the second round. It's all good. What?
And why not after the Stanley Cup?
No, we can't.
Why not just regular season?
Why not just why not like every other? Why not like every other award that you give out? I don't get it.
We can't do heart votes in the playoffs. That gives them an unfair advantage. What about this one? Yeah. No, it's fine. We're not going to totally, completely, 100% base our opinion on the playoffs and nothing else. We're not going to totally just David Poile is the king of everything. Never mind, he lost in the second round. We're not going to do that.
And that's the thing too, is the playoffs really are most of the time a crapshoot. Like to say that you're a bad GM or you don't deserve it based on the playoffs, I think is just wrong.
Can you look up a list of Kevin Cheveldayoff moves, like just NHL trade tracker?
Nothing
Kevin Chevel
until this year, except for the Evander Kane trade. He makes no trades.
Like, what's he done in the last calendar year? I'm trying to think.
But he's known for that.
Other than have the best team,
Signed
like he
Steve
built
Mason.
this team. No doubt, he built
through
this
the draft.
Team. Is Shiro? What was the list again? McPhee makes sense.
Yes, and Steve Yzerman
makes sense.
But
Shiro's not on that list.
And Kevin Shaw. There's only 3 nominees.
Steve Yzerman's on that list because of the trade deadline. Steve Yzerman is on that list for sure because of the trade deadline.
Steve's face right now is amazing.
But Shiro needs a nod here.
So this season, which would I count?
Paul Stastny, sorry.
Okay.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, so this season I count like, I guess when you start making trades with the Knights, it's kind of last season or this season.
Start the Knights
the
trades.
Draft.
Yeah.
The draft, which is June 21st last year, they traded a first-round pick to the Knights for a first-round pick and a 2019 third-round pick.
That was so that the Knights would select... trying to remember his name. Wasn't a very good player. He was going to free agency.
I don't remember.
I forget his name.
And then they traded a fourth-round pick for Joe Morrow to the Canadiens. And then they made the Stastny deal. And that's it. So 2 trades and a half, kind of.
GM of the effing year!
Sometimes the best moves you make are the ones you don't make.
Maybe. Or you look at the Devils and go, how the hell did you go from last to this? And like look up Ray Shero now. Ray Shero's made a bunch of moves to make the Devils good. That's bizarre. That's bizarre. Look. Kevin... This is all silly. Jeff Merrick said it best. The GM of the Year award is the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
There it is. So, oh my God, we got a lot going on. Okay, so the Devils acquired Patrick Maroon at the deadline. That was good to get them into the playoffs as well because they almost didn't make it. They also acquired Michael Grabner at the deadline. They made a minor league deal. I'm not even going to say that one. They acquired Eddie Lack, Michael Latta, some smaller moves. Oh, this deal I thought was great. They acquired Sami Vatanen and a conditional third-round pick for Adam Henrique, Joseph Blandisi, and a 2018 third. I think that was the deal that worked out for both. They acquired Marcus Johansson in the offseason. Forgot about that for a second and a third.
And then I would cut it off for this season.
You still got another deal at the draft.
No, it's
anyway,
pre-draft, yeah, but...
Point is, he's been a busy bee.
Sure.
But his team was knocked out in the first round.
But...
And as we know, that's a thing that was taken into account.
The Jets are better.
Yeah.
They are. They are.
Okay.
There's no question about that.
I'm just taking a fact.
Okay, Leafs win the 2013 Cup. Does Dave Nonis get GM of the Year?
Yes.
He did. He acquired Ryan O'Byrne. That was all he did. It's Brian Burke's team.
I don't understand what the criteria for this award is. Like, what are you rewarding? The team that is the best? Because then you just give it to the best team. Like, I don't get what you're saying you did good at, GM.
What I've
General managing? Like, it doesn't make
what I've learned about hockey this year is we don't know what any of the awards are.
If you did good at general managing, then you win the Stanley Cup.
The Selke Award is decent defensive player who scores a lot.
Yeah.
It's not actually best defensive forward. Mm-hmm. It's just, hey, you're not a liability and you scored 30 goals. Here's the trophy. The Norris. Hey, you're a defenseman who scores a great deal of points. And I'm generally confident putting you out there in the last minute of the game.
And you're in the media a lot.
And you're in the media a lot.
Because it always goes to a guy that we know.
Good guy.
Let me just throw this out there.
guy.
Jonathan Marchessault scored 35 seconds into the game against the Jets tonight.
Oh my God! Why
That's
are you
interesting.
cursing Vegas to lose by saying
I'm
the
just
score
throwing
on this
out
show?
there. It's a fact. You said something about it. You're the curse, man. It's not me.
GM of the year should be Dale Talon for building the Golden Knights.
Yeah. Maybe Garth Snow a little bit too. Well, man.
Maybe Chuck Fletcher. Post getting fired, he wins GM of the year. Man. And George McPhee deserves it every little bit. Every little bit.
We just want to quickly take this moment to remind you, you can play hockey with Matt Sunding. That's you and Matt's and Ty and Tomish.
Would you have to address him as Tomish? Here's one. Is Thomas Caberlet an old enough player that you would address him as Mr.?
100%.
You'd address him as Mr. Caberlet?
Yeah. I mean, like, because I feel like it doesn't matter that he's old. I think it matters that he's unfamiliar to you. Or he's not unfamiliar to you. You are unfamiliar to him. So you say, Mr. Caberlet, sign of respect.
When I'm meeting...
LeoVegas.net, by the way, is the website you want to go to
sorry.
for this, to enter the contest.
You know, with my whole ordering food thing, I'm just a tremendously awkward person. I wouldn't address him as anything. He knows I know who I am. I'd just be like, hello. And then I'd introduce myself because he doesn't know who I am. I wouldn't say his name. I wouldn't say Mr. Caberlet. I wouldn't say
But if you
Tomish.
acknowledge Mr. Caberlet, then you're showing him respect, which would ingratiate yourself to him.
But wouldn't
You're
that
saying,
be like,
Mr.
I'm a big
Caberlet,
fan.
it's a pleasure to meet you. You don't need to say you're a big fan. That probably could be assumed. You just won a contest with LeoVegas.net. You're clearly a big fan. You don't need to tell him that. All you need to say is, Mr. Caberlet, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Who was the last guest on breakfast television you addressed as Mr. or Mrs.?
Eddie George.
Mr. George.
Yeah, Mr. George, nice to meet you.
That makes sense. He's a fair bit older than you. When was the last time you addressed someone younger than you as Mr. or Mrs.?
Like
if Taylor Swift came in, would you call her Mrs. or I guess Miss Swift? It's crazy to me that we can have this conversation and it's based on the fact that you've interviewed Taylor Swift several times.
I didn't. You know what? To be fair to you and your point, I did not
call her Taylor.
I just said it's very nice to meet you. Because someone said Adam Wilde, Taylor Swift.
Oh well, someone introduced you.
Because it was her people
that's
from Big Machine, the record company.
Yeah, that's different. To save her the 0.2 seconds. Mm-hmm. Also, she didn't have to touch your grubby peasant hands.
True. Also,
did you shake hands with Taylor Swift?
No, but we got a picture together. Like put our arms,
Oh, there you go.
around.
Good.
Just thanks for the interview. Yeah.
Thanks for the interview.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Honestly, that's all it was. It's
business.
really very, very pleasant.
You lead a goofy life.
I mean, I haven't interviewed her since. At that point, I interviewed her twice in like a year.
Hasn't
And
interviewed
I
her
haven't
since,
talked to her
Jesse.
since. That
It's
was like
nothing.
7 years ago, man. It's a while. That was the Speak Now tour.
Your voice just cracked. It was funny.
Ah.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights displayed on the ice tonight. Drew Doughty's quote that said, "There's no way they're going to be a better team than us by the end of this season."
Oh, that's amazing.
Yo,
love
that's
from
not
tonight.
real. There's no way that's real.
Yeah, Emily Kaplan tweeted it out.
That's
Oh
pretty.
my God.
That is really funny. Good for them. That is awesome.
They get fun.
They do.
The Golden Knights get
Like
fun.
now that the Twitter's calmed down, their Twitter count has calmed down a little bit.
You mean that the guy left?
Yeah, so it's calmed down. They
never
actually
said
do
for
have a
what,
good
did he?
sense of humor.
No. You never. Anyways, are we done?
Wow.
No, we're doing the press conference.
Oh, yes.
The Presser. SDP.
Hockey questions, please.
Dancing
The
with
Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Can we do hockey questions? Are there any hockey questions?
Oh, there was a.
Is a Mike Sock a teabag? That's from Die Fools.
we got
in a bind.
We
I
got
guess.
one angry email about they're like, I'm tired of your college stoner questions. Tired of this
Who
bullshit.
sends emails in 2018?
Somebody who's tired of your college stoner bullshit.
You said that like it was a carrier pigeon letter. Who writes letters in 2018?
I honestly
If they-
rarely ever. I send emails for these podcasts, a couple of things we do, and that's it.
I mean, maybe if he'd emailed from a Hotmail account, I would have been like, yeah, Jesse, you're absolutely right. But I still send emails.
That's weird. Other messaging apps exist. Is an email a messaging app? Because I consider it a messaging
now.
app. I don't
Is
know.
an email a teabag?
No, but
And
it is
therefore a
jam
mic socket.
because it spreads across the internet.
Wow.
Just saying.
Is it yellow? What is the top part of an email?
It
Is it the round part?
is a bathtub a reverse boat. That's from Eyebrows
Can we get
69.
because you
anything
fill it
else? Like what?
The Regina Pats are about to host the Memorial Cup after being eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. How do you feel about that?
I hate that. I think we've talked about that before.
Well, because like in recent memory, I can't remember who specifically, a team that lost in the second round and was strong. They just ran into a stronger team. They're in the second round. They have like a month off, and then they go and they win the Memorial Cup at home.
I love bringing up the
crap.
Memorial Cup because then I get to bring up my idea of the 64-team March Madness bracket of Memorial
Yes.
Cup goodness.
Yes.
Because there's enough teams to do it, and it'd be so much
You know
fun.
what would happen?
And it's
There
actually
aren't 64.
no, we can't do. We can do
There's
32
60, so maybe 4 teams get a bye.
or 32.
Yeah, 4 teams get a bye. The host city, the champions, and the championships from the 3 other leagues.
Sure.
You get a bye.
Anyways, I just want March Madness
Because you got
Memorial
4 in
Cup.
the Memorial, right? 4 in the Memorial, right?
Yes.
So then
it's
take
the- it's
those
the host
4.
team
Yeah,
and the 3
it's
champions.
3 champions
Host
and then
team,
yeah.
3 champions, they get the bye.
I'm into it. Or you pick 4 junior A teams from across the country, fill it out at 64.
No, you don't do that. I mean, it could be kind of fun.
Could be kind of fun. There's the Royal Bank Cup, I think. They do something sort of like that, where they basically, because there's like over a dozen junior A leagues, and they all play each other, and then it's just champions versus champions.
Does that, though, eventually outshine the Stanley Cup?
Absolutely not. No, not a chance.
That would be insanely entertaining, though. Like,
I'd actually care.
I don't know enough about this. Is March
No, I'm
Madness
kidding, I'm
bigger?
kidding.
Is
Well,
March
I'm not.
Madness bigger than the NBA playoffs?
what?
The NBA? No. The NBA is a different type of beast.
Yeah.
Well, no. The junior hockey's not going to
But
outshine the
I
Stanley
think what's
Cup.
great about March Madness is it comes as the NBA starting to solidify of who's getting in.
Yeah, they're not competing.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
And
it's
the NCAA is huge.
a bit of that dead zone between the trade deadline and the playoffs is filled in by crazy games mean something every day. March Madness.
I would love it. I'd
I love
absolutely
that
love
idea,
it.
Jesse. Yeah, that's awesome.
But it's hockey, so they wouldn't make it fun. That would suck.
there was
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to make a dumb joke. No. About starting it after the second round, but go ahead.
fair enough. I got it.
I mean, I'm
You
into
see,
it now.
because you see.
No, go ahead.
I agree.
There was a popular post on the Reddit page about an idea that I brought up like over a year ago, which was the Steve Dangle podcast at the Toronto Zoo and doing a podcast Zoomobile tour. I just want to let you all know I have reached out to my former boss, who is
Still
now,
at the zoo?
he's in a higher position of power than he was when I left. And we're working towards making this a thing.
That would be amazing.
It would be amazing. I don't know how we would do it. It's difficult because, okay, when do you do it, first of all? Because they need these buses throughout the summer because the zoo is popular in the summer. It's the zoo. And also, I think you can only fit like 80 people on it.
I think we're bringing in 80 people that they'll take a bus for
They
us.
probably could hook us
Yeah,
up with a
we're
bus.
selling them 80 tickets.
My boss might drive the thing himself.
Yeah. I think we could get 80
I still
people.
call him my boss.
And you could just do the tour.
It's my favorite idea ever.
Yeah, I think it'd be so much fun.
Figure it out. Let's figure it out. I could honestly, I have
Figuredout.com.
on long drives, I have someone is coming into the studio.
Oh, hi there.
Hello.
That's
It's
okay.
okay. Who are you? What's your name? No, it's okay. That's a tough door. Ah, there you go.
That's the weird thing. Is the people have stopped trusting. There's little wall things that say you've booked the studio, but people have stopped trusting them because so many people book the studio
Well, and also there's
And
a
then-
red light that says recording.
on air. Yeah,
Whatever.
But people have stopped trusting them because there are people that book studios and then never use them.
They
So-
ship the thing on the wall and then never show up.
Yeah, so that's why people stop trusting them. That's why people barge in.
That
If
makes
she
sense.
knocked, would we hear it, or is the door too?
No,
thick?
you
Nah,
hear
you'd
it.
hear it. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, there are times where I've been on like a long drive and I'm by myself, and I'll just recite the tour. I can do it from memory. That's how many times I did it. I can do it from memory without even being at the zoo. Oh, yeah. And then, all right, we have the Oryx.
I wish I'd done cool shit for a summer job.
You did landscaping with my cousins? That was cool.
Didn't you landscape hockey players?
I did Sundin's in Domi's house, basically.
Well,
that wasn't cool,
You can
though.
talk to them about that.
next
I've been to
weekend.
your house.
I
What
cleaned
a
up
great intro.
Ty Domi's dog poo. Like, great.
You should ask him about that.
And he also had a tennis court, like, way in the back that whenever the spring happened, he had it on a low
That's
plane.
rich.
He had it on a low plane, and it was back. It used to take me 2.5 hours to do his backyard.
To
Pushing a lawnmower. 2.5 hours, huge.
You didn't have one of those riding ones?
You couldn't. This place was like
Hilly?
so
Too slopey?
Too slopey. You could not do it. You'd
Frozen
fall
slopes.
off. So
That might be fun, though.
So it would be hilarious. But we'd have to go down with like a weed whacker into the backyard, and there was a creek, and there was a tennis court next to the creek. And
This
the
guy's
tennis
house has a tennis court in a creek.
Yeah, so the tennis court, it was smart to put the tennis court there because it was out of the sun, it was nice and cool, except that the creek flooded every spring. So you'd see the tennis court and it was all like wrapped in half because the creek just washed it out. And then I think he sold it, and the owners of York University ended up buying it the next summer.
Oh my God.
Crazy. Yeah, craziness.
I was going to, no, again, just like Jesse, I pulled the chute on him. Bad joke.
And Matt Sundin had an infinity pool.
Oh, those are
One
cool.
of those where it drips over the edge.
So he lived on Lake Ontario?
No.
Yeah, wait, how do you have an infinity pool not on the water?
Yeah, you can't have, that's not an
Because
infinity
he
pool.
had, well, they call it infinity drip or something.
No, but for technically, for
Okay.
it to be an infinity pool, you have to also be overlooking water
It needs
at
to go
one of
on
the
for
major
infinity.
oceans. So it goes on for infinity.
So it's the infinity pool without the ocean next to it.
yeah. So you have to
it's
be
a
like on
pool.
the West Coast.
It's a pool without an edge. It literally just the water is constantly
Yeah, a
going
fake
over the
infinity
edge.
pool.
Fake infinity
Matt
pool.
Sundin has a nice pool.
It's not good enough though.
No.
I'm
Matt's.
disappointed.
We should ask him about that. Be like, Matt's.
Tell them to move to California.
That's the kind of pool Vancouver Canucks Matt's bought.
Wow.
Leafs Mats would never buy that.
See, if he was living in Vancouver, he could have a Pacific Ocean infinity pool.
But he'd never be able to use it because it's always raining.
You know,
I'm kidding. It's not, but you know.
You know, sometimes they don't think it'd be like that, but it do.
but it do. Someone left.
That's my
comment on
favorite
the
yearbook
Reddit page.
quote ever. Sometimes people say it don't be like it be, but it do.
See, the dark part about that is the baseball player who's attributed with that quote was talking about racism in America.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is Adam to that?
No,
is Adam to
T-Pain. That is
quote-
T-Pain's fault.
Adam to that quote is Nicole Arbor, I think is what you're saying.
God.
I have never not clicked a link so hard.
The this is America. Nicole Arbor
Yeah,
edition.
Nicole Arbor parodies This Is America, and I went, nope.
So Steve brought this up in our group chat, and I watched it.
Wow, why did you? You need to stop working alone. Jesse, quit Timmons.
See, Jesse would have been like, "No, you're not watching that."
So Oscar Gamble
He's a good friend.
Okay.
was asked about the prevalence of racism in Major League Baseball, and his response was, "People don't think it be like it is, but it do." And then Adam likes to take that quote, that's a serious thing about racism
I
in
didn't know
America and America's pastime, and he uses it as a
Everything-
joke in 2018.
Everything's racist.
And I think maybe we should cancel him.
Adam Wilde is canceled.
Adam Wilde canceled. Are we having an Adam Wilde is over party?
Not only should we throw that party, but we
Is this
should.
the one you want to cancel me on? Really?
But we
This
should.
one, not the boob graphs?
We should just point out
It's
how
accumulation like Tom Wilson.
It's a reputation. Okay.
we just need to acknowledge how problematic his actions are.
A lot of your faves are problematic. All your faves are problematic, actually.
Problematic is a problematic word.
If
Can't stand
Adam
when people
was a
use that.
duck, he'd be a milkshake.
Wow.
You know, if it's goopy like a milkshake, if it quacks like a milkshake, if it fits nicely around a straw like a milkshake, it's probably a milkshake duck.
And his milkshake does not bring me to the yard. I'll say.
No. But you know, sometimes it be like that, and it do.
Yeah, I don't think that's the quote, but I mean, I agree. What is the difference between being over and canceled? If there is one. Because you can have an Adam Wild over party.
I thought Taylor Swift had both at once, right? Didn't she have the Taylor Swift is canceled and then Taylor Swift is over?
Is over
and then
party.
The snake.
I think it was just.
I think they canceled her first, and then they said, and then they had a party, which is
she
Taylor
was just
Swift is
ruined
over.
with an emoji. Like, that's it.
Right. Except she's back and playing 60,000 person stadiums.
No,
and
but
not going
I don't
anywhere.
know why you're trying to divert the conversation away from yourself.
Oh, listen, I just want to know what's in store for me. Do I need to wear
or are
snake
you
boots now?
bringing up people who are also in your snake world?
Maybe I am. Maybe Taylor Swift and I will get together and we'll sing her cover of Earth, Wind, and Fire's September.
Oh my God!
You ever heard that? Listen, girl's written some great songs, but that was a bad decision.
I love when Charlemagne's like, when he pulls out the fart sound effect.
On that, yeah.
I think he gave her
made
Donkey
Nicole
of the
Arbor
Day for
Donkey of the Day. Yeah.
But it's just her singing like pleasantly and. Anyway.
Anyways, I'm out of questions.
Okay.
Well, that's it. There's no okay.
How about some hockey questions next time,
you're
guys?
on there. I'm on there every day, but am I missing the hockey questions?
I don't know.
Hockey questions, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, give me some hockey questions.
Yeah, and then be like, friggin'.
What the hockey
is zucchini meat somehow? Like I don't know how you would do it, but I'm sure you'll find a way to argue that a zucchini is meat. Phrasing?
We'll leave it there.
Are zucchinis canceled?
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.